Good morning.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, good morning and good afternoon. I'm Bob Cooper.
And I'm Jen Monkluz.
Yeah, and thanks so much for joining us. And we're now, Jen, it looks like we're in the section number 2 of Marketing Auto Service. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited to be here today.
Yeah, it looks like we got a lot of the guys and gals that were with us last time, so thanks for coming back and thanks for putting up with us the second time around.
Well, welcome, everyone.
Yeah, perfect.
So, Bob, I know we have a lot of new shops with us today, so I'm just going to be brief, but give them a little overview about who we are as a company. At Elite, just so you guys know, we're a company that lives by the principles of never putting money ahead of people. And we know if we do the right things for the right reasons, the money is going to follow.
That's so true. So true.
And this is our company mission statement to everyone watching and here today. Elite's mission is to use a team of the top experts in America to help automotive professionals reach their goals and live happier lives while elevating the industry that we love so much. And this mission will be accomplished without ever compromising our ethics or the trust that is placed in us by all.
Boy, this is really who we are, isn't it, Jen?
Yeah, we have this everywhere, you guys. Business cards, websites.
Yeah. You're going to find our mission statement literally everywhere. It's woven throughout that. So for those of you that weren't with us last week, what we did is we did session number 1. And if you take a look at the screen, it says review of the most common terms that we use in marketing. And the reason that we did that is we wanted to make sure that when you're talking to different people in the world of marketing and advertising, you'll be able to use their jargon. So that's what we're looking to accomplish. We took a look at how you position your shop. You know, where's your shop going to land in a competitive environment compared to all of the other guys and gals in the business? And then we took a look at part 1 of how to identify your ideal customer. And the reason I say part 1 is there's quite a bit involved, right, Jen?
Yes.
When it comes to that exercise. So because for a limited amount of time, we wanted to break this into 2 sessions. So last week we took a look at part 1, and again, if you aren't able to join us, all that you'll need to do is go and take a look at that video, and you'll be able to catch up with us.
Right. So today, you guys, we're just going to pick up where we left off last week, and let's start into identifying your ideal customers and also how to set proper budgets today.
You bet. That's what we're going to do. And then for session 3, what we're going to do is we're going to show you just how easy it is to reach that perfect customer. We're talking about the ideal customer in the most affordable and effective way.
Yes, and last but not least, we're going to then track and measure the results of the campaigns we've been discussing and talk about how to improve your customer satisfaction, how to generate more repeat referral customers as well.
Boy, yeah, certainly so true, Jen, certainly so true. So let's talk about how you guys and gals can best benefit. One of the things that we're going to ask that you do, we know that you're busy, we know that you're running shops, but anything you can do to ensure that you're uninterrupted is going to be in your best interest.
Right. And make sure you guys take a lot of good notes. There's definitely a lot of information in all of these sessions. As Bob mentioned before, they're all recorded, so you can go back. But today, make sure you've got that jotted down. Yeah,
certainly, Jen, certainly. And make sure that you keep an open mind. You're going to hear a lot of things that might be different in the way that you've looked at marketing or advertising in the back. So all that we ask that you do is keep an open mind, because you're going to discover everything that we're going to recommend to you through all of these sessions is all based in principle. It's all about doing the right things for the right reason.
Yep. And during our session today, you guys, there's going to be a time frame at the end, question and answer time frame, where Bob and I are going to leave this open to you to ask us questions. So you'll notice to the right, there's a little drop-down box in the question tab that you guys can type away, and we'll tackle those towards the end.
Yeah, perfect, Jen. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Well, you ready to get started, Bob?
I am. So let's do a little bit of a review if we could.
Okay.
All right. So let's do this, guys and gals. Since today we're going to be looking at part 2 of identifying your ideal customer, I want to do just a quick review of what we covered at the end of the last session when it comes to identifying your ideal customer, so you know why we're picking up with the second half. So first and foremost, the first thing you have to do is sort out your customer database. Find the guys and gals who spend the most revenue at your shop. Drop the guys and gals that are the one-time customers, engine sales, you've never seen them since. But those guys and gals need to go out. And when you're looking at total revenue, we're asking you go back approximately 2 years. Any customer that hasn't been in your store for the past 2 years, more than likely not your ideal customer. So step number 1, identify them by revenue. The second thing that you need to do is look at the profitability. Some of these customers are going to be more profitable than others. This is going to be because of the kind of services that you perform, the kind of vehicles that you're driving. So second thing is going to be profitability. Next thing you're going to look at is how frequently do these customers come? Because the guys and gals that you're looking for are the guys and gals that are going to be the frequent buyers, the guys and gals that really look forward to coming back with you and taking really good care of their automobile. One of the things that we discussed last week is take a look at the number of vehicles that they have in their household. What that means is as you're identifying your ideal customer based on what we're covering so far, you may very well find that they have another automobile in their garage, right? Possibly even two, and you're looking for consistencies there. You might find that a lot of them, as an example, have an SUV in their garage. So one of the things that you'll want to look at. After that, what is their gender? Are they male or female? Draw those conclusions. And then the approximate age of the customer. So at this point, you might be telling yourself, wow, man, I'm finding that my ideal customer is a gal. She's anywhere from approximately 30, 35 years old to 45 years old. She's driving a Toyota product. She has an SUV in her garage. She comes in very frequently. We do profitable services on her automobile. So this is what you're discovering so far. So again, let's do this. Let's take a look at what goes forward from there. Let's pick up with the second round.
Right. So I'll cover this one, you guys. Estimated level of education. So we've got to figure out, are they college graduates, perhaps? Is it a high school degree? So maybe some of your clients have PhDs. We've got to look at this. Maybe someone with a few college years or just not. So take an educated guess, everyone. This should be based on your conversations you've had with your clients, and really just use your best call with that as well.
Yeah, and that's what all that we're asking you to do is just use your best judgment, to the level of education that they more than likely have. The next one you're going to look at, as you're filtering your customers down, what is their occupation? Are you going to find a lot of them, and we're just giving you an example, are you going to find a lot of them live in the white-collar world? A lot of them are accountants and engineers, and let's just use that as an example. And you're also going to have to take a look at their estimated annual income. Now, we know that this gets really hard to do that, so all that we're asking you to do is try to use your best guess. Right, Jen?
Right.
And bracket that, I'm going to give you some examples. Maybe they earn between $50,000 and $70,000 a year. Maybe they're $70,000 to $100,000 a year in that kind of an occupation that we're talking about. Maybe they're a physician or they're an attorney or something that is over $100,000. So all that we're asking you to do is draw some general conclusions with their estimated annual income. 50 to 70, 75,000, 75 possibly to 100, 100 and more is a good bracket that you can use.
Right, good tip. And next would be, who are the advocates of your brand? So, the big flag wavers, you guys, the songbirds, you could call them, the big fans of the shop. So lots of those folks who refer candidates, etc., the advocates.
Yeah, now here comes the fun one, too. Take a look at the next one, if we could, Jen.
Okay.
This is where you look at the personality traits. And what we're talking about here, are these guys and gals active people? Do they seem to be your ideal customer? Take a look. You find a lot of your customers. Again, we're looking for your ideal customer. You find that a good percentage of them, as an example, are very active people, outdoor kind of guys and gals. Maybe you'll find that they're very intelligent. Maybe you're going to find your ideal customer, gee, these guys and gals seem to have a lot of God-given brain cells. You might find that they're compassionate. You might say, you know what, one of the things I'm really figuring out about my ideal customer, Jen, is, boy, they're really caring people. They're compassionate people. So this is what you're looking for in this particular category.
Right. And then the lead source. So this is the where or whom they heard about you. So things like this, you guys, maybe from the Little League team you sponsor locally in town, or just from a friend at church. Possibly they're new to the area and a new coworker has informed you the shop. So that's our lead source.
So you go through this process, and ideally then what you're going to discover is who, in a general sense, your ideal customer is, right, Jen?
Right.
Okay, then let's take a look at the next slide, guys. So now we've already figured out, and we found out, and I'm just going to give you an example, that your ideal customer is going to be a gal. She earns $75,000 to $100,000 a year. She has a college degree. She has 2 children at home and a dog, is an example. And this is who this gal is. Now what you need to do is research their social habits and location of your ideal customers. And if you take a look at the bullet point, it says conclude, and don't miss this one. This is an important one. What they do and where they are. So what they do means what kind of behavior and where is that behavior present. So Jen, let's take a look at the next slide. We'll give these guys some tips if we could. You on board with that?
Yep.
Okay, so as an example, one of the things that you might find is your ideal customer, these gals, let's say they play golf. And And you've also discovered in your conversations with them that they play at Torrey Pines Country Club here in San Diego. So you go, okay, we know who these gals are, and we know that they like to play golf, and we know where they like to play golf at.
Right. Another example could be, maybe they're a member of the local chapter of MAD, so Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So we've got to ask ourselves, how are we going to reach out to them, right? This gal, she's your ideal customer, as Bob kind of depicted. How are we going to get involved? You guys want to jump onto their website of MAD, do some homework, and you want to get to penetrate that media. So maybe they have a blog.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a blog you guys can contribute content to get in front of these types of ideal candidates or customers. Maybe you can offer the local chapter of MAD representatives a discount at the shop, right? Or even provide a really cool car care day at the shop, educational day for them.
Yeah, great stuff, Jen. Thanks so much. Here's another one. Take a look at this one, guys. And gals, you might find that your ideal customer, let's say this gal, is a runner. She's active, she's outdoors, and one of the things that you find is, boy, a lot of our gals are involved in different running, and they write as an example, or write articles or write commentary on San Diego's Runners blog. So now you know what they do, and you know where they are. How you get best reach these guys and gals. Let's take a look at another one, Jen.
Okay, maybe you find out they're parishioners of St. Mary's Church. That's around the shop. How are you guys going to get involved with the church? How are you going to get some brand exposure there too? So some ideas, just thought starters perhaps, could be getting involved with the church bulletin. I'm sure there's some of those that go around to the masses. Churches like to also do a lot of events in town, so maybe you guys could then become a sponsor, get your name out there. Another idea, if you guys like this, is leading the way with some form of maybe a food or clothing drive, Bob, where you could give back to either the community, the homeless, or provide that for the churchgoers themselves.
Yeah, great, Jen. Thanks so much.
Mm-hmm.
Great so much. And here's another one. Look at this one. Maybe you'll find that a lot of the guys or gals that are your ideal customers are members of the local Kiwanis Club. So what does this mean? This means that you need to be involved with that club or somehow find a way to get engaged with them.
Mm-hmm. You also might notice that lots of your customers are members of the local San Diego elementary schools, or PTA, right? So let's think about how we can get involved with that. Maybe an idea would be providing free oil changes or a discounted service to get to know those PTA members or even school employees, right? Another idea could be possibly, let's say, coming up in September, you tell the school, the elementary school, that you're going to donate $10 specifically to their art department for every oil change that a parent from the school receives by the shop. And that way, you guys can create really neat flyers, promote yourselves and that service going on with flyers to get the kids in the backpacks. They can take those home and pass those out to family members and whatnot.
There you go. So listen to that, guys. There you go. What a winner that is, Jen. Yeah, what a great point by you.
Thanks.
So put together those flyers and give them to the schools, and every oil service that comes in off of that flyer, the school is going to get $10 or $20 or whatever it is. So it's a great way to get back to the community. It's a great way to support the school and get the school supporting you at the same time. And again, this is where your ideal customers are. So this is how you're going to receive guidance.
Right. I think we got a few more.
Yeah. How about you might have a cyclist? You might find that your ideal customers are bikers or cyclists, and they belong to the San Diego Cycle Club or whatever it is. So this is the exercise that you'll need to go through to identify what they do and where they are.
Right. And then you could find out that a lot of the ideal customers volunteer at the local Humane Society. So if that's the case, think of ways you can get associated with that organization. Maybe you guys could do something really fun and provide an adoption day at your shop. So get those folks and ideal customers to come and see you. Tell the Humane Society you're going to provide refreshments and possibly offer, a $50 gift card from a local pet store if anyone were to adopt a pet that day. Something fun to get involved.
Well, yeah, that's a great recommendation on your point, Jen. So by getting these guys and gals to come by the shop with the Humane Society, and all these little puppies are going to make everybody smile. All these dogs are going to make them smile, right?
Right.
Yeah, and what a neat way to get back to the community and help the animals and help the people that are helping the animals at the same time.
Right. Right. All right. I have another suggestion maybe for the Humane for every oil change that comes in the door within a given time, Bob, maybe they'll donate a certain dollar amount towards the shelter. That's another way that you guys can create really neat flyers to distribute, to give to the Humane Society, as well as put your shop information on their website.
Yeah,
So
awesome, Jen. Awesome. And before we go any further, one of the things that we've learned over the years, a lot of our clients go, you know what, this is so cool that, you know, I don't know how to go about identifying all this, Jen. How often do we hear that, right? From clients about how do I go about identifying whether or not they're, you know, I could sort of figure out that they're a runner Cooper because, you know, they come in here and they're talking to me about running or biking or the church or that they belong to or whatever. But, you know, how do I really dig into this and discover what I need to do? And there's really two ways that you could do it. The first way that you can do it is put in once you identify who your ideal customer is, your targeted customer, you're going to have maybe 50 names of these guys or gals. Put a little asterisk or some kind of a flag in your software. And next time that customer comes in, now I don't want to lose you on this. If they come in on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday, all that you need to do at the point of writing them up or at the point of card delivery, simply ask them a question. Hey, did you do anything exciting this past weekend? That's all that you need to do. Mm-hmm. And let them tell you, well, you know, I actually took the kids and we went to church on Sunday. Or they'll say, well, you know, I'm a golfer and I golf at Torrey Pines, so I had a really great time. Thanks for asking. Now, if they come in on a Thursday or Friday, you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to change the question a little bit. You're going to say something like, well, hey, Jen, what are the plans for the weekend? Anything exciting? And now you're going to learn what their plans are for the weekend. So this is going to help you better understand the what and the where. Now, another question that we hear from guys and gals is, well, you know, that's good, guys, but the problem that I have is it might be a while for these ideal customers to come back in and see me, and I'm a little anxious to learn a little bit early on. Well, that's pretty solvable, too. All that you need to do is whether you do it through email or ideally you're going to do it through a direct mail, take those 50 top customers that you have, and depending on the profile of that top customer, if they're like a blue-collar customer as an example, you might want to include a Target gift card or something like that, $10 Target gift card. If they're a white-collar customer, you might want to include a Starbucks card or something of that nature. And what you do is an offering. And what you do is in this message, all that you do is let them know that you love them, let them know that you're building your company and you wish you had more customers just like them. And you'd like to learn a little bit more about magazines and all that they subscribe to. So then what you're looking for is you want to find out if they subscribe to any local publications, number one. You want to learn if they're involved with any local association that they're involved with, the Chamber, Kiwanis, and things of that nature, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Mm-hmm. So this is what you're looking to learn about the local things that they're involved with. And then you can also ask them about national organizations that they're involved with, any of those. And that could be actually things like NAD, that could be things like AARP, it could be things like AAA as an example. Right. So this is what you're looking to learn. And then all that you need to do is tell them if they're kind enough to complete that survey. You'll either give them a complimentary oil service the next time they're in, or you'll provide them with a gift card. So this is a great way to communicate with your customers and learn more without specifically asking them, hey, what do you do on the weekend? It's not your product. Just learn more about, if you learn about what they read, and if you learn about the places that they go on the weekend, you'll be in a really good spot. You'll get the information that you're looking for.
Yeah, great suggestion.
Oh, thanks, Jen. It works like a champ every single time.
All right.
So then the next bullet point is this: determine the potential. The operative word here is potential of your targeted customer. And you know what? That's easy too. All that you need to, we're talking about potential, we're talking about, is there enough people? Let's say, for an example, guys and gals, I concluded that my ideal customers, female that we talked about earlier, 35, 45 years old, college education, 2 kids, a dog, a Toyota. She drives a Toyota, and she has a SUV in her garage. Now I got to ask myself, okay, that's my perfect customer. Are there enough of those gals out there in my community to support my business, or am I going to have to look for other kind of customers as well? Where do you find about those gals that you're looking for? Easier than you think. U.S. Census Bureau can help you. There are a lot of local and state agencies that you could turn to. I know that it's tough with the vehicle companies, but in some states, you can get information through the DMV, the Department of Registration. There are a tremendous amount, and don't miss this one, of demographic research and reporting companies. Mm-hmm. They've been doing that for decades, guys and gals. All that you do is you tell them who you're looking for, you tell them the area that you want to look in, the geographic area that you want to look in, they'll give you a price. They'll tell you how many of those people are there, and you know what else they'll tell you? They'll tell you where those people live, which is really cool, the general areas where they live. Chamber of Commerce, local associations, of course, mailing list providers can help with this. You can turn to business associates as well. In many cases, they can help you, and certainly web searches can help you as well. So this is going to give you a starter on how you can find out where these guys and gals are, how many of them there are, and where you're going to position your business as you continue to grow.
Great. All right. Next slide. So now, you guys, we want to develop your strategic plan, right? Let's get into talking about setting your budget.
Oh, cool.
So,
cool.
yeah.
Cool.
So setting budgets for brand creation. You'll see here it says evolution or revolution.
Mm-hmm.
So just to give you guys a little description, evolution when it comes to brand creation is more like upgrading your brand. Okay, so it's taking it to the next level, it's evolving. Now, if we're going to look at revolution, that's a big reset. That's a big undertaking, very large, where you guys are actually starting over.
Oh man, that's like, well, I got a shipwreck, right?
Yeah.
I got a shipwreck where I just bought a business. It was really turned inside out, and I think I need a whole new brand. Huh?
Correct. Yeah. So that's the difference between the two. Now, if some shops are pleased, with their current brand, that's great. But if you guys are not, and you're looking into the evolution or revolution creation there, I mean, budgeting for, $20,000 and up is probably what you're going to expect with, marketing company expenses and all that ties into that.
Yeah, boy, yeah, you bet. And I agree with Jen 1,000%. If you start sitting down with the right marketing companies, these different brand association companies or branding companies, you're going to probably spend anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 to $40,000 and up from there. And before you jump off of this webinar and say that's lunacy, I'm not going to spend that kind of money, bear in mind you don't have to. We're just letting you know that if you decide to really take a good hard look and develop your brand, this is what you're going to be investing, because they're going to do a lot of research on you, on your company, your principles, your history, your ideal customer. They're going to help you discover who you really are and who your customers are and how to best connect with them. So this is what we're talking about when we talk about brand creation.
Right.
And the one under that, Jen, that we have, which is looks like it says investment, a 5% plus of your targeted annual sales. Now, we don't want to miss the mark here. If you have a shop and if you're doing, let's say, $800,000 a year in sales, and you want to do $1 million a year in sales, we're recommending that you don't invest 5% of the $800,000 in your marketing campaign. We're suggesting you invest 5% of the $1 million in your marketing campaign. This is an annual investment. And the little plus side, hopefully you can see it on your screen there next to it, we have some shops that we work with. We have a lot of businesses, a lot of shops that we work with throughout the U.S., and we have found there are some guys and gals, and I know that Jen is very well aware of this, where they'll smile and they'll say, you know what, my budget is actually way less than that. I only invest 2% in advertising or 1%. But the thing that they're missing is the amount of money that they're investing in what we'll call customer care to make sure that their customers are really pleased truly is marketing. Mm-hmm. So they still are investing it, but it's in a different way. Lastly, a couple other tips when it comes to investing your budget, I should say, the total investment that you're going to be making annually. If you have a transmission shop, you're going to be certainly over this. You might be anywhere from 7 to 10% in marketing your business, advertising and marketing your business. And if you have a business that is really struggling for whatever reason, you have to re-identify the business. You're desperately in bad shape and have been for car counts, then your budget's going to be substantially higher. A really quick story here, and I know that Jen's heard the story in the past. Many years ago, one of the stores that I had, actually here in San Diego, was an upside-down business that we bought. When I say we, I'm talking about my wife and I. This was a store that was a shipwreck. The two investors bought it. The store was upside down. We bought it through the bankruptcy courts. We bought the assets of the store, and we went in. And I will never forget my accountant telling me that I was a lunatic because of all the money that I was investing in advertising as a percentage of the nothing sales at that point. And I reminded him that in order to really get warmth out of a home, you have to put the wood in if you expect into the fireplace if you expect the warmth to come out. So when it comes to investing, guys and gals, you got to put the money in. You have to invest in advertising. So if you got a business that's really desperately in need, you're probably going to invest anywhere from 10, 15, maybe 20% get that thing up and running.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah. So then to discuss establishing your budget allocation, let's look at it this way. As far as the investment goes, let's take 50% of your advertising budget and put at least half of that towards non-traditional advertising. So this is the out-of-the-box stuff, you guys, the unordinary. Maybe the bus sales, different events held at your shop, sponsoring different types of local races. So then the remaining balance, that should go back into the traditional advertising avenues, you guys. Radio, TV, website, what everyone typically does.
So all the stuff that everybody normally does is the traditional marketing, for traditional advertising.
Correct.
And the non-traditional, the guys and gals that we work with that have the most amazing businesses, they'll invest, and Jen, tell me if I'm off, you see the numbers, they'll invest in sometimes 60-70% of their budget into non-traditional campaigns.
Right.
Yeah, so this is one of the things that you'll need to do, guys and gals. Don't forget this. This is the cardinal rule. And now the other thing that you'll need to bear in mind, and I'm pleased to tell you this, we were actually the first company in this industry to recognize what we at that time called the emerging market of the Y-Gens. So up on your screen, if you take a look, it not only says Y-Gens, but it also reflects the Z-Gens as well. And the Ys in 1980, the guys and gals who were born between 1980 and the Z-Gens in 2000, the Z-Gens are 98 through 2010. And we're recommending that you invest 20% of your total budget. So if you have a budget of $50,000 for the year, we're recommending that you invest $10,000 of that, 20% of that, into campaigns that are directly targeted toward those generations. And whenever we recommend that to clients, it is not uncommon for us to get a lot of pushback, and they'll say, you got to be kidding. Those guys and gals, that's not my ideal customer. That's not the guy or gal that I'm looking for. That guy or gal is a younger guy or gal. They're not driving the kind of car that I'm looking for. But what they don't understand is this is an emerging market. They don't understand that. Let's call it Mary, who's sitting at a dinner table with Uncle Larry, and Uncle Larry's struggling trying to find out where to take his car, and Mary's just going to jump on her smartphone, right?
Right.
And she's going to look at the reviews and say, hey, Uncle Larry, you need to take your car to Elite Auto Repair because of the reviews. So he doesn't know. So what she's going to do is she's going to help him through that process. So the sooner you can get to these younger guys and gals, not only will you eventually turn them into customers, but they're going to become your marketeers. We hear a lot of people talk about word of mouth. And here at Elite, we don't use that term any longer. We call it word of text because this is the way people are communicating today. So we're going to ask that you really recognize this. We understand that they're not your targeted customer. We get that. We get that. But you know what? The day will come when they will be.
Right.
So invest that money and you'll be pleased that you did.
Right. And then we would recommend that you guys seasonally adjust your budget as required. So all that means is if you have a busy season in summer, I'd encourage you guys to back off on the advertising. In the slower months, winter perhaps, let's crank that up during those colder time frames.
Yeah, great point. So make those adjustments, guys and gals, make those adjustments. So what else do we have for today, Jen?
Well, here we are.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Q&A session. Okay, guys and gals, hopefully you haven't been asleep on us. Hopefully you're taking some notes, and hopefully you're putting some questions toward us. So Jen, can you take a look and scroll through there and see what you might find?
Right.
Looks like we got quite a few. And guys and gals, we know that we're not going to be able to answer all these questions today. Our time is certainly limited. But what we will do is we'll work really hard to answer any of the questions that we possibly can. We also know a lot of these questions are going to be like duplicates.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be so similar to one another. We'll try to meld all those together if at all possible and answer them that way. So Jen, tell me what you see.
So
anything that's you can help them with?
Yeah, this one right here. So thanks for the great tips. Okay, you're very welcome. Question is, how do you find out how all your customers attend church? How do you actually approach that with them?
Boy, that's a great question, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Jen, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
That's a great question. And I got to tell you, it was probably 8 or 9 years ago, one of our clients actually fell up in Los Angeles. He came to us, or came to me, I should say, and it was sort of funny. He actually called me, and it was sort of funny. He said, Cooper, you'll never believe it. You'll never believe it. He says, I did everything he asked me to do, and I've identified my ideal customer, and you know what? Not almost every one of them, but every single one of them are in church. Every single one of them. And I thought that it was so funny in the fact that he did figure out where these guys and gals are at. So he went through the exercise, which was really great. So the question is, how do we identify identify this as an example there in church.
Right.
This goes back to what I was suggesting earlier, and this is when you need to ask the customer on Monday, Tuesday, or you need to ask them, do you mind if I ask? Do you have a good weekend this weekend? Did you do anything exciting? And I'll make you a promise. The overwhelming majority of your customers are going to respond that they went to church. If they're a churchgoer, they're going to bring that to your attention. And if they have small children, if they more than likely will, if this is going to be your ideal customer, then they're going to have the kids involved with that too.
Right.
So that's going to be at the top of their mind. They're going to be bringing that to your attention as well. So lastly, don't forget if you send out a questionnaire to your customers, your targeted customers, and you're asking them these kind of questions, that's one of the questions you can ask as well. You can ask, are you involved with any national associations like NAT or AAA, or are you affiliated with any of the houses of worship in the community? And you'll be amazed. They'll be more than happy to answer those questions for you. So great question. Thanks for asking, and hopefully the answer made sense.
Yeah. Okay, so reading the next one, everyone. Here it is. So do you consider loaner cards a part of your marketing budget? And I can answer this.
Yeah, sure. Go for it, Jen. Yeah.
We're going to say, not really.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you guys can do for your clients that's more tied into the customer service and sales. Yeah. So we wouldn't recommend loaner cards to be considered marketing. That's definitely more customer service.
Yeah, I agree with Jen. It doesn't matter where you invest the money. It's all gonna lead to the same result. So, like Jen says, if you invest it in customer service, it's just going to be taking it out of one category of your budget, putting it into another category of your budget. But to her point, it's really not what we're looking at when we're talking about advertising and marketing. Even though the cars are driving around town, or you might have the name of your shop across the back of the window or something like that. I think the only time, I think Jen would agree with me, the only time there would be an exclusion to this is like if you have a company car and it has a vehicle wrap around it. Okay. Then we would certainly say, right, Jen, that the wrap, vehicle wrap would certainly be considered an investment in advertising.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm reading through this, and here's a good one, Bob. Can you give a tip on how to market a business when you have no money for marketing?
Oh, man, that's a great one. I don't know who it was that sent that in, and Jen, it looks like there were a few that called in that category on limited budget and all. So this is a question that we often hear. Here's a guy or gal with a small shop, just started his business. He maybe has one tech working with him, and he's trying to pay his bills, trying to keep his kids in school, and he doesn't have a dime to invest in marketing. Mm-hmm. And the best thing that I could do is tell you a story. And Jen, I promise it's only going to take a minute or two, but it's sort of a cute story. One of the stores that I had in San Diego had absolutely no customers, lifting it off from the ground. And I walked into forget the brand name of the restaurant. Let's just say it was a coffee shop, a breakfast coffee shop. I walked in the morning. The gal came up with the coffee pitcher coffee. She said, "Would you like to start off with a cup of coffee?" I said, "Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thanks so much." And I looked right in her eyes and I said, "I got a question for you. How's the transmission in your car?" And she looked at me like I was from another planet. She said, "Excuse me." She stepped back a little bit. And I said, "I'm just curious, the transmission in your car, how's it working for you?" She says, and she was sort of caught off guard again. She says, I guess it's okay. Why do you ask? And then I smiled at her and I handed her a business card. And I says, "Because I'm in the transmission business. And I hope that if you ever have a problem with your transmission, you'll remember me." And I handed her the business card. She took my order, went back in the kitchen. And I swear to this day, I'm surprised she didn't quit. I'm surprised she didn't tell all of her friends in the back or all of her coworkers there's a loon out there in booth number 13. But you know what I did? I had my breakfast, and then you know what I did? I came back a couple days later. I made sure that I sat in her same area. She came up with a cup of coffee again. "Good morning. Would you like to start off with a cup of coffee?" I looked at her, and I smiled, and I said, "Did you have a chance to check it?" And she said, "Excuse me?" I said, "Did you have a chance to check your transmission yet?" She laughed again, and I handed her another business card. And you know where this is going. I know that you do. Within a matter of a month, everybody in that restaurant knew who I was, and they all knew that I was in the transmission business. Now, that's number one. Number two, here's another thing that all of you could do immediately. I'll give you 2 tips that you could do immediately. Number one, make sure that all your techs have business cards, and tell them that whenever they recommend a customer to you, if it's a first-time customer, and if they were recommended to you by that technician, that what you will do is 2 things. Number one, you'll make sure that the car is assigned to them. And number 2, you will give them whatever your ad budget is. You will give them 4%, 5%, whatever it is, of whatever that customer invests with you or spends with you within 90 days. Meaning if they come in the first time and it's just an oil service that you discover they need brakes, they're not going to be back. So you'll give them whatever they invest for 90 days. Just tell your techs you're going to invest some money in advertising, so you'd rather put it in their pockets than somebody else. And Jen, do we have a minute for one other quick story to help these guys with the struggling money?
Yes.
The struggling money guys? Here's another tip that works like a champ for you. And Jen, if you're okay with this, I'd like to do a little role play with you.
Sure.
And let's say you're my customer.
Okay.
And let's say Jen is my ideal customer. And let's say she works for the accounting firm that's, you know, a block or so away. At the point of car delivery, this is what I'm going to say to Jen. Hey, Jen, before you scoot out of here, do you have just one more moment?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, great, Jen. Well, look, we're looking to grow our business. We're looking to bring in more customers. And ideally, I would love to bring in more people just like you.
Huh.
You're always a pleasure to deal with, and all of our guys love talking to you, having communications with you. So ideally, that's what we would love to have. So you know what I'm going to do, Jen? Here, I'm going to take 2 business cards.
Okay.
And on the back of the card, I'm going to write, here, I'm writing it out right now, complimentary oil service, Bob Cooper. Now, when you get back to work, Jen, here are the 2 cards.
Oh, thank you.
When you get back to work this morning, it would be a blessing if you pass these on to a couple of your friends, and here's why. Number one, they're going to win because they're going to get a complimentary oil service.
Right.
And the way we're going to win, Jen, here at Elite Auto Repair, is if they're pleased with our service, with the oil service, then we hope that when they have other needs for their automobiles or their friends, that they'll think of us.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, definitely. I
Makes
got
sense?
2 girl friends I can think of right away.
Oh,
So.
awesome, Jen. Awesome, Jen. So what do you think, Jen?
I love that. Yeah. Great explanation. Hopefully you guys can run with that too. Super simple, easy. Who wouldn't want to take up that offer?
It doesn't cost you a dime either.
Exactly.
It doesn't cost you a dime. Now, pay attention to the fact that I didn't say, here's a couple to pass on. I specifically told her, when you get back to work, give these on to a couple of your friends. If you don't say that, she's going to put them in her purse and forget about them.
Right.
So what I want her to do is put them on her seat next to her, and when she gets back to work, hand them on to somebody else. Lastly, when she's giving out those business cards, you know what she's going to do? Even if that person doesn't come in right away, they're hearing the name of our brand from a songbird.
Right.
So there's a couple things that you could do. So
yeah. So great questions today, you guys. And you know what? We're past at our time limit here. Yeah.
Sorry, Jen.
No, we're good. So we're going to leave you with one last note. Next session.
Okay, that's going to be how to reach your ideal customer in the most affordable and effective way. So what we're going to be doing there is we're going to be taking a look at some of the different advertising methods that you could use to reach these guys and gals that you're looking for.
Right. You guys will really like that. And last but not least, where you can find us. If you guys have any questions, interested in chatting with us more, this is our number if you guys want to jot that down, 800-204-3548.
Yeah, and thanks so much for joining us. It's an absolute honor. We know that you have choice when it comes to companies that you're turning to help you with your business, and we can only hope that the content we shared with you met with your expectation, and we look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same channel.
That's right, yeah. Looking forward to it. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, thanks again for joining.
Have a great week.